small too, and it'll depend on who, you know, like the ability to reset the entire mode is something that some people are like, I need this. This is everything to me.
It's totally a subjective question. I mean, because everybody plays Universe in the game itself, you know, so differently. I guess just in terms of maybe the work that went into improvements this year, being able to customize.
I think the show scheduling, the calendar is probably the biggest thing, because fans wanted to be able to put a show on any day of the week, which they can do now. They wanted to just flat out delete shows that they want, so they don't want superstars on their calendar anymore.
I may have done that. I actually, it was funny when I was going through this mode, I actually just reverted back to like the old days, and I just had Raw and pay-per-views. Like I just, I got rid of SmackDown.
Oh, you got rid of SmackDown too?
Yeah, that's cool that you can create.
I may have deleted half the roster too.
You can create the Attitude Era show roster. I mean, you can just do a Raw and a SmackDown, and you can take it old school. You can do whatever you want.
You could even do like a Raw and then a Raw is War, actually, if you want to do something like that.
Because the rosters are split between the current day Raw roster, and then we've got, you know, the Attitude Era superstars of the Raw is War roster. So
you can do some really like alternate reality stuff where you have like old school WWE, WWF guys back then, and then WWE now. So it's pretty cool. Okay. So let's get into some more of these details.
Yeah, that's one big, obviously, major feature in there, but there's plenty of improvements. I'm just going through a show creation here, and obviously you can name your show. We left the WWE, but you can go in here. You can
do the logo.
Check your show logo. We have lots of logos. We have custom logos, so you can port your own paint tool logo in there, and we have lots of logos to choose from. Some, you know, you typically see in the WWE calendar, and we added a bunch of new ones in there too. You know, we have the Starrcade, Clash of Champions. We have some old school stuff like AWA.
I think we got the XFL.
I love that you guys even have stuff like Taboo Tuesday and things like that.
Oh yeah.
Just some of the stuff, because I mean,
Velocity.
There's sort of a gap in my viewership, but like, XFL. I love that you're able to use that.
So you select your name, your show logo, you go ahead and decide which roster you want to participate on this show. So you can have joint shows and have one that's just exclusively for this show. You select the Raw roster there. You can set the championships, which are really cool.
How many belts do you have in this game, by the way?
There's 40. 30 come with the default game, and there's 10 extra you can get as DLC.
Oh, okay.
Championship pack and you get with DLC.
I love that you guys even have belts for certain eras. I mean, you even have the Brahma Bull belt you have.
Oh, yeah.
You know, I mean, you guys have done this for years.
I mean, all that comes along with, you know, the recreation of the Attitude Era, you know, being able to, you know, have those appropriate championships in there.
The Brahma Bull belt is a belt that never was released before. It's kind of got this folklore about it, so we were able to put that in the game. We have even a customized WWE championships based on guys like Edge with the Rated R Superstar Challenge Championship, and we have Miz's upside down WWE logo.
Still waiting for my Punk belt, you know?
Yeah.
We're still looking at that kind of like the spinner belt. I don't think it spins anymore.
It doesn't even spin anymore.
It doesn't spin anymore.
We got an Internet Championship, which is the first time in the game, which is really cool, so Zack Ryder should be proud of that.
Yes.
But you can go in here and you can set anyone. We also have custom championships where you can go in there and you can customize existing championships.
Change colors, that sort of stuff.
Change colors, you can change names. There's even a ring announcer call name. We can walk through that as
I'd
well.
definitely like to show that off.
But you can do that. So you can select your championships. You can select your arena, obviously, so you have these default arenas, but you also have create arena.
Yeah.
Your create arena.
Use your own custom arena.
Whatever you can draw up in that mode, you can go ahead and put in there. Even matchup screen, go ahead and select what kind of matchup screen in there. We have some generic ones in there as well, so you can have some options.
So many. I'm about to say, suffice it to say, this mode is just, the depth within this mode is astounding.
Yeah.
I mean, it really is.
Let's show off a little bit of the rankings, and even actually if you jump out to the stats.
Absolutely.
XFL returns.
So we have the rankings here. You can always see who's on top of the rankings, who the #1 contenders are. You can view all different shows here, so you can always see that in there. But then also, when you go into Edit Universe, this is where you get full customization in the mode. You can go into and change any individual superstar on here if you want them to be on different shows.
Right.
If you
crowd
want,
reaction, everything.
If you want to turn their championships off, so they're not in in a certain bracket for championships, you can say, hey, look, I don't want to be involved in
the title hunt for that championship.
You can settle the relationships of who your allies and rivals are for the mode. Also, if you want to set up a tag team, you can do that, and you can go off to the tag team championships. Then we get really nitty-gritty with the statistics, which are really cool. We track everything from your championship reigns. We track your Royal Rumble stats, like how long you were in there, how many opponents you eliminated, things like that are really cool.
This was something you brought back this year, right? Because everyone was like, bring it back.
I think a couple games ago we had some stats in the game and we removed them, but we found, the fans, they just love, statistics, being able to record their actions and their
every
events.
Individual superstar has their own stats that we're tracking, which is really cool.
That is really cool.
So you can get into that. You can edit the rosters. You can also edit all the teams within your universe as well. And then you can edit the titles. So if you don't want someone to be a championship, you just go a champion. You just go right in there and say, hey, now, like Brian would probably do, Daniel Bryan.
Oh, what is this?
Yes.
What is this?
Appreciate
You
that.
can always do that.
Cool.
So that's really cool. And then the story options as well. You can fully customize which stories appear throughout your universe. So you can flat out turn off all stories. You never have those appear.
Never had the cutscenes happen during the matches.
Just do all your matches the way you like. If you don't want injuries occurring, you turn that off. If you don't like the AI deciding when teams form and disband, you turn that off. So we really wanted to get, this is all new to this year, we really wanted to get that extra control in there for you to customize your experience. And then you mentioned the reset. A lot of fans were asking about the ability to reset.
Because you can actually just change so many things that you could kind of get so far away from wherever you started. You're like, what was this? I don't even remember what was going on. So.
You call that out. And then we have a lot of extras here based on championships. You can go in here and you see who's held the championship for how long. And you can go through every single championship there. We have cool stats for the shows too. So if you want to see the stats for the Royal Rumble, who's won all the past Royal Rumbles. You can see who won the WrestleMania after that, which is really cool. Money in the Bank's got cool stats too. You can see kind of the percentage of who cashes it in and the results
the past
of that.
winners.
That's really cool. So really a lot of stats, a very stat heavy mode, which the fans have been asking for. Then we have a lot of historic stats too that you can try to kind of break records in here. You can go down here, you can see who's eliminated the most opponents in a single Royal Rumble. You go in there, you see Kane had 11 eliminations in one Royal Rumble. Now, if you go in there and break that record, we kind of identify you as a new record holder, whoever you beat that record with. And so
Try
these
and
all
beat
get
Kane's,
updated. That's right.
And there's some great stats in here too. I mean, obviously everyone knows about the Undertaker's streak, but I mean, just seeing like HBK has 38.
38 total eliminations, which is really cool.
Yeah.
So a lot of stats. And then as you create your own show and whatever night you populate it on, all of a sudden you're setting your own history for that. All the stats get updated based on how you're performing your new show. So
let's talk a little bit about Universe and its stories actually, because I think for the first time this year you guys revealed that Paul Heyman was involved in working with you guys on sort of the story creation and sort of developing that element of the Universe mode. So what was Paul's involvement? Like, how does he collaborate with you guys in creating these sorts of ideas?
Yeah, we approached Paul because obviously he really is just a genius when it comes to booking, right? I mean, he's the man. No one does it.
He may be one of the more influential figures in wrestling.
No one does it better, right? So we thought when we're coming up with our new stories for Universe Mode, who better than to contact Paul Heyman to get a lot of creative advice. He kind of served as an executive producer on the mode. We would talk to him about new cutscenes that we're creating, or new storylines,
new angles, new programs.
And he would just book week by week what the storyline would be. So he had total free reign to do that, and he went in there and just did all that for us. And so it just gives us a really nice, authentic feel to it. And obviously, you know, when you're playing throughout Universe, you want your stories to feel like, you know, they have meaning, they have purpose.
Exactly.
And he's all about that. How do I make you feel emotionally invested into that story? And he's the man at that.
Now,
so
how do you guys work out the stories for something like Universe Mode? Obviously, if you're doing something like Attitude Era or something like a Road to WrestleMania story, obviously you guys are just like, well, this happens, and this happens, and this happens. Universe Mode, you can't say, well, CM Punk's going to fight Daniel Bryan because I can just take Daniel Bryan out of the... How do you guys create that? Is it very much more generic? Superstar A gets angry at Superstar B? Or like, how do you guys write for a thing that...
There are some open-ended ones, so there's a lot of flexibility. I mean, flexibility is huge in this mode because you could populate the entire universe with all created characters, with all types of gimmicks that there's no way we can account for. So there's a lot of open-ended stories in which have that total freedom. There are some specific stories that you can have. I mean, you can unlock feuds that are going on that you can unlock from the Attitude Era. We have like an APA feud that you can unlock.
Oh, okay.
So the APA will come out, and it's a storyline related to tag teams and APA. And so there's stuff like that in which you can...
So if I never really worked with APA in my Universe Mode, say I decided to just, you know, disband them or something like that, then I never would see that story.
That's right.
Correct.
Okay,
Correct.
so there's
you
a
have
lot
that
of
control still, where
interesting.
Depending on what your roster looks like, or you know who you have populated in there, it'll dictate the stories.
Let's look at the creation suite actually, because you know we're getting all these details. Oh wow!
Upset
really?
victory.
Upset of all time. There must have been a whole corporation in his
wow, look at that.
pocket there.
Yeah, it is. What were those guys called? The cheerleading squad? I can't remember what they were.
Squad.
Spirit Squad. There it is. Right. There we go.
One Dolph Ziggler was
oh, yeah,
Spirit Squad.
That's right.
Wow. yeah, anything else about Universe Mode? Because I wanted to get to
I think we
Creation
covered,
Suite.
yeah,
covered
I think
all
we covered
the-
all
all
the big
all the
items.
major,
Again, I
themes.
mean, it's just this endless sandbox experience where you can go in there and you can just do whatever you want. We see fans really excited about populating every single day of the week with the show. Some that want to recreate exactly what's going on in WWE now, you have that total freedom.
Yeah, I know when I play it, I'm more of a, staying with the current WWE landscape. I know a lot of people out there are going to want to just create their own leagues and federations and shows, and Universe definitely gives them that option.
So we got a question from Night Hockey 2K9. What are your guys' favorite new moves that have been added this time around?
New moves.
New moves.
Well, maybe we should when we create moves.
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
yeah.
either way. It's fine. We can talk a little bit about it while waiting for this to load.
I'm a really big. We added the inverted Frankensteiner to the game this year, and I've been asked this question, a bit, and it remains my answer. Like this inverted Frankensteiner that we added just looks incredible. Are you familiar with the move?
Vaguely.
Just think of a Hurricane Rana,
Sure.
but done from behind. So the guy is actually just getting dropped on the top of his head.
Okay.
So it's got a really great cell animation as part of it, and that's probably my favorite new move.
Nice, nice.
Just because it looks like it just hurts, which is what you want.
Yeah. It's actually funny because about a decade ago, that's how I learned most of the move names, was just going through creative suites that were available back then and going, okay, that's what a DDT is, that's what this is. Because you hear some of them called out in a match, but then, in modern day, it's just like, oh, there was a big move, and you're like, well, I don't know what that move was. I want to know. So,
we've added a lot of new moves to the game this year, especially when you factor in, just when you get the game, on Tuesday, like all the amount of moves on the disc, but then when you factor in all the DLC that we have coming out, the new superstars, and then we have a moves pack that we're going to be offering as well. 20 new moves you can add to the game.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, those move junkies and move fanatics will definitely be happy with what we've done this year.
Nice. So, Corey, what are you trying to create here?
And we've
Happy Halloween, everybody.
Yeah, exactly.
We've
It's like a
reanimated
Smurf
some
gone
moves
crazy.
too, which
Yeah.
is something the fans asked about.
Yeah, we renewed a lot of moves.
RKO and there's a couple other moves
Yeah.
that have been reanimated. Quite a few actually moves that have been reanimated. Fans ask about that a lot too. Just because Superstars update their look at their moves often and change how they approach executing and things like that. So.
And you guys kind of, if I recall correctly, I was actually looking at the RKO and the Creation Suite, and you guys actually have several variations on some common, some of the common finishers, because depending on the match, depending on the day or the opponent, it's
A guile.
it's like Smurf gone Guile but rabid or something.
Or Triple H.
But yeah, so you guys include multiple variations on the same move, just in case someone wants this particular execution
of it, like the attitude adjustment is one example of that. We got a couple of different attitude adjustments. They're all the same move, just performed differently. So just it just adds variety to the attacks and to the grapples in the game. Wow, this is
getting interesting here. Yeah, when I was doing one, I was actually filming for the review, but I've created one that a guy that was wearing a sombrero with bat wings coming out of his back. And
the bat wings.
And he had a dress on, I think. I don't even remember. It was I was just doing whatever I could. So, when you guys are approaching a mode like this, how do you decide what to add every year? Because you guys don't really delete anything. You keep adding to the pot pretty much, right?
Yeah, we just keep adding to it.
How do you determine what to add then?
Actually, we collaborate with a lot of guys from the community.
Okay.
The IGN boards, especially they give us some ideas of what new parts that they'd like to see added to the game. So of course we have ideas of our own that we want to, and new parts that we want to add. But we also get ideas from the community, because they're the hardcore, the guys that are really coming in here and creating this popular content, uploading that community creations. So we have our own ideas, and then we obviously listen to the fans. As far as the parts go, as far as just the other options, we brought back transparency. We brought back the transparency option. We had this in the game a few years back, but then it got removed. I forget the reasons why. But yeah, there you go.
You get a little more see-through.
Exactly. So it gives players just a little more flexibility as far as they're trying to assign, create like a tattoo, kind of give like a faded-in look instead of having it be so stark.
Sure.
And everything. And then obviously, the skin tones. We brought back the color wheel, giving players a full range of colors to create skin tones.
Got kick pads to see.
And then this is one of the things that we added new to the game as far as the actual outfitting of the superstar is concerned. Being able to choose your own boot or shoe, or you can go barefoot, and then being able to attach a kick pad. We have 5 different styles of kick pads, so just giving players, more freedom. Because in the past, we would, kind of create these parts as one unit. It'd be a boot and a kick pad all in one kind of combination there. It's one piece. So now we just kind of broke it up just to give players a little more, more options.
Sure.
Like everything else in our game, very option heavy.
So we're actually coming up in about 15 minutes left. I want to get to some of the other creation modes too, which actually leads to, I believe this is our 5th question. I hope it's our 5th question, which actually applies to some of the storyline creation that you guys can do, and people can create their own storylines and branching storylines. You know what? Go figure. I picked the one where I can't even pronounce his username. Thiago, Thiago, WWE fan. Can we make specific storylines for specific championships? Are you guys able to do that if you're creating a storyline in the creative mode? Are you able to assign it to a specific championship?
In Story Designer?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you can. We give players access to all of those, all the tools, as it were. So if you want to create a storyline with Walker in the championship, we give. I mean, like Corey said, we've got 30 in the game. So you can easily, choose a scene, apply a championship to that scene. So yeah, I mean, you definitely will be able to do that.
Okay.
No problem at all with that.
We've had over 300 new scenes into Story Designer, so it's really quite a big update last year.
Sure.
So we've added everything from entrances that you can have as cutscenes. We have some attitude era specific cutscenes, really cool stuff. So I'll show off a couple of these. Some scene creation here. This is a really detailed-oriented, gnarly tool. You can get nitty-gritty about facial animations. Most of our fans know this stuff.
Changing camera angles.
Those that don't, it gets really
emotions.
Crazy.
You can change emotions on superstars' faces.
And what's new this year as well is that we are allowing players to use DLC.
Oh, cool.
Within this content. They're a fan access holder. They can use DLC in here to populate their stories, which is something fans have been asking for.
You can get right into the feuds. I think you showed this often when you had your New York event. Actually, the APA getting kind of.
This is a classic. This is a classic scene we like to show. It brings you back to when APA was untold their antics and pretty hilarious. So, obviously they show them with their little playing cards, drinking beer.
Drinking beers.
Santino comes through the door the
Very
proper
polite.
way.
Yeah.
And it's really cool. You can change the cast in here. I mean, obviously it's the Acolytes. You can go ahead and change them to the APA gear. Whoever you want to change them to, you can go ahead and have total freedom to do that. Change the casting there.
Yeah, for anybody who's new, to these games or this mode itself, I think that's a really, good thing to mention is that, when we show off these scenes, because I would get questions sometimes, like, oh, am I stuck with so-and-so in this scene? And it's like, oh, no,
that's just whatever you want.
Default, you can do whatever you want.
Yeah.
Security guard A, security guard
perfect.
B.
There we go.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
And there, you're able to, add a championship.
Here's the championship we're looking for, Zack Ryder.
So obviously, I mean, we could spend hours talking about all the different options and just the customization level of the Creative Suite. Are there any major additions or alterations to the overall package that you guys want to highlight?
I think we can hop into Create Arena. I mean, obviously, that's a creation mode that we've added quite a bit to, and I think Brian can speak really well to that, so we'll hop into that.
Say Create Arena, and even we can take a quick dip into the championship customizer as well.
Sure.
I think that'd be cool to show that off.
Yeah, absolutely.
Hop out of here. We can spend really hours.
So let's touch upon what you guys did change for the arena while we're waiting for it to load. So before, you could just change the ring and the announcer
and the
table.
surrounding areas, in the ringside environment. Electronic billboard, we gave players the ability to customize that. But obviously, when we came up with the idea of this custom arena, I mean, me and Corey both agree about this. I mean, obviously, being able to customize the ring as well as the stage, I mean, that was definitely in the plans. But obviously, as a year one feature, we just have to focus on the essentials, and the essentials were the ring itself, and being able to customize those areas, the barricade, the announce tables. And for this year's game, obviously, the big new addition that we wanted to add was being able to customize the stage design as well. So we have 20 staged templates that players can choose, and then can customize freely, which we'll go in and I'll show. And Corey right here is showing off the venue size. We have different venues you can choose for your arenas as well.
Basically, it'll go from like a bingo hall to like a stadium size.
Stadium size, yeah. We even have outdoors arenas, and then even you can change the crowd type to a modern or an attitude era. Where they'll be wearing the appropriate
NWO and so on and so forth.
Speaking of the Attitude Era.
Legendary Godfather.
Godfather.
Unlockable.
Yes.
Here and there.
He does have the hose. He does come out with the hose.
He does.
And he's part of that. We were mentioning that sort of off-script, the extra content there.
Yeah.
He's one of those ideas there because he's not involved in The Rock, Mankind, Stone Cold, you know, Kane,
Right.
Undertaker. So.
That's right.
It's awesome.
But it's still a figure that everybody, you know, remembers fondly of from that time period.
Absolutely.
So right here, we're at when you come into the mode, you know, obviously the first part that you're going to be customizing is the stage. So as you can see, you can turn off, you know, certain elements, pretty much everything on the of the stage. You know, adjusting the lights. If you wanted to, you can turn off the Titantron video.
I remember you guys showed, you were showing off the old school, or not actually, I think it's like a second iteration, but the SmackDown set with the fist going through basically.
Yeah.
And you can
I
actually
love that set.
You can actually just take the fist out.
You can remove the fist if you don't want it there. You can even remove the metal frame as well.
Right.
So if you're trying to create, I mean, you know, a grand, you know, kind of Madison Square Garden style venue, you'll be able to get something very similar to that. But at the same token, if you're trying to do something on a smaller scale, for like maybe an independent type vibe, you'll be able to do that as well. You know, by choosing that, like you said, the bingo hall venue, and they kind of stripping away a lot of the elements from the stage.
Right. And Corey here is doing the old school approach where they actually had sort of, I remember the Rock Bottom pay-per-view where they kind of used to do like almost superstar themed pay-per-views and stuff like that. So.
Which is in the game.
Yeah, it's so cool to see those things. Let's jump out and look at the title, the belt customization too.
Customize it, yeah.
So many options, so many things to cover with
I know
10
it
minutes
is.
to go.
You got 10 minutes? Oh.
Yep. So what's the gist of the belt customization then? What can you do within this mode?
So essentially, you know, players will be able to choose any one of the titles that we have in the game, kind of start off and use that as their base. And as you can see, we have a lot of championships in the game this year. And from there, you know, players will be able to customize, you know, the color of the strap, the plate
like
color.
Base, right, there's lots of bases to choose from. We have a couple custom ones in there as well, so that they're something original that you haven't seen before.
Yeah, these three down, or yeah, this is an original belt design that we created specifically
like
for the mode.
Cool. You said existing ones, you know, the hardcore belt, whatever you want.
Yeah.
It's awesome. That thing. It was so busted up looking.
But yeah, you know, change the colors. You can name it. And then what's really cool is you can assign it to be contested as either a cruiserweight title. You can make it specific to divas as well. So it's a really cool feature. It's a you know, it's just fun. It just adds, you know, honestly, it adds that many more championships to the game. You know, in addition to the default WWE titles that we have in there, you can create you know, these original championships and use them as well. And you know, of course, you can use these in universe mode. So you can create your own show and at the same time create your own championship for that show.
Awesome.
And then this is cool, being able to stitch together the ring announcement for your championship. Similar to what we do for Custom Superstar.
Right, the call out for the stars, yeah.
Ring of hybrid.
Ring of Hybrid? Nice. Heritage?
Up to 6.
Up to 6.
Yeah, you can use up to 6 of these.
Okay, very cool.
Yeah, a lot of cool names. I think fans will like the selection of names that we've given them
Sure.
for this feature.
Ring of Professional Divas.
So you can say whether it's a superstar or a diva.
Diva.
And for the first time ever, you have diva tag titles too. Which is
Right.
really cool. A lot of fans are excited about that.
We've got more questions rolling, and I believe we've given away all of our giveaways, but I'm still going to get to a few
all the
more.
stuff is gone?
I believe so,
Wow.
pretty sure. But I am Nick Claywell asks, have there been any changes to the create an entrance video feature?
Creative entrance video hasn't seen a lot of changes. I mean, a lot of the content's still obviously in there. We didn't really add anything
Yeah, too significant to
Sure.
to call out and to talk heavily about.
Okay.
But it hasn't been removed or anything like that. It's still in there.
Gotcha.
King of the Ring too.
Oh yeah, let's check out that.
King of the Ring.
Josh J. Elwood asks, is there a way to assign #1 contenders? And is there a #1 contender match up? I guess specific match type, I guess.
Like if in universe mode?
I believe so.
Can you assign #1 contenders? I believe you can.
Can you change the rankings?
I think you can change the rankings.
Like outright? Because I know you can change all the championship assignments.
Right.
So, okay. Are we doing a King of the Ring full-out tournament here? And you guys added, what, I Quit match type, right?
We did.
Yeah.
I Quit match, the special referee match is back this year. The special referee match always got me because, you know, when we had it in the game and we removed it, I mean, Corey will remember this. We got so much kind of heat from the fans. Like, we had no idea that was such a beloved match.
Sure.
And so we're happy to bring it back, you know, this year, completely redesigned. Thing with the I Quit match, I think the last time the I Quit match was in this game was in Here Comes the Pain, I believe, or maybe the game before that. So we brought that back, and again, completely redesigned from the ground up. Me and you played an I Quit match.
Yep.
They can go pretty long.
Yeah, they can.
It takes a lot to get your opponent to say those embarrassing 2 words.
Brian's pretty good at predicting this, so let's see what happens.
Oh, okay, all right.
Oh, Bret Hart. What? And I said it so smug, like I knew I was gonna be right.
Cactus Jack.
Cactus.
The Rock.
All right, okay.
Oh, Jericho.
Del Rio.
Oh.
All right, here it is, The Rock and X-Pac.
It's not The Rock. Okay. Jericho. Yeah.
Who wins
The
it?
Rock.
What do you think?
Rock, yeah.
A winner is us.
In our final few minutes, I actually wanted to talk about online. You guys actually made a lot of improvements to online throughout the past year, but also in terms of some features and abilities for the players. So walk us through what you guys have been upgrading and changing.
Yeah, there's a ton, like you said. I mean, we spent a lot of time on, obviously, just the performance of the servers for community creation is #1 priority for us. We want to make sure that fans can go on there, can easily get the content that they want and download smoothly. So that was a lot of our focus. Same goes with latency. We want to make sure that the gameplay itself is smooth when you're playing online. So we spend a lot of time on that. So those are 2 areas that are probably our biggest priority. We always spend a lot of time enhancing. But on top of that, we've added a lot of cool options. We've added a fair fight option so that you can kind of ensure you have a fair fight online where you can't bring in superstars that have adjusted movesets or attributes, things like that. We've also made some changes that you don't have to upload your created character anymore if you want to use them online in a match.
Just shows up.
Just shows up.
Yeah.
It's peer sharing. We've supported Create Arena for the first time online,
which is awesome.
Match Creator
too. Yeah.
So a lot of those changes. So yeah, I mean, we didn't skimp on online at all. We wanted to make sure, and we knew in WWE 12 that there were some performance issues that we weren't obviously pleased with, and we wanted to make sure that that wasn't going to be the case with WWE 13.
Gotcha. Awesome. We'll get to a few more reader questions while we're in the final moments here. This is an interesting one. Nathan R.J. Lewis. Do you have full control over the superstars that get into the final roster, or does WWE have a say in who makes an appearance?
It's definitely collaboration. We submit a roster that we would like to see in the game.
Sure.
And obviously a big part of that roster is dictated by the story mode, the story campaign.
Sure.
And so the attitude of our roster is really dictated by that. But the WWE works with us to figure out in their crystal ball who's going to be a relevant superstar diva.
Right.
And helps us make those decisions. So it's definitely collaboration.
They were definitely on the ball with Ryback. He was one guy that they had asked us to include in the game. And it was even before he was still wrestling on house shows.
Oh, okay.
So they obviously saw something in him.
Right.
I really wish he would have just been on the disc, but he's in the game. He'll be coming out pretty soon.
It's a long lead time to create a lot of the models. Not only creating the models, but to get the animations, to get the entrances. Brian does a lot of the mocap directions, so he knows it takes a long time to really just from a superstar from scratch, building him up.
Right.
Takes quite a while. So we have to decide the roster pretty early on, so that we can capture all our cutscenes, all our moves, all our entrances, get the models looking fantastic. So that's why DLC is really just a godsend.
Totally is.
Just to allow us to introduce a lot of these rising guys like Antonio Cesaro and Damian Sandow. Ryback you just mentioned, and get AJ in the game. We got to have AJ in there. So
she's so adorable.
We're just stoked to have such a great DLC offering this year. It's the largest we've ever had, and a lot of people are getting excited about the moves pack, which is great. And I think that's something that we're going to want to continue on in the future because that's got a lot of buzz, and it's really cool to update the game with additional moves.
We should definitely keep
Kimura Lock and Jericho's line solving a lot of cool moves.
So let's talk a little bit about, we're already talking about it, but DLC. Who else is available as DLC? Actually, it was funny because when we did the roster reveal, the overwhelming feedback wasn't like, well done, biggest roster ever. It was, where's Ryback? I was like, wait, how did this happen, Ryback? The guy that wears the Terminator singlet? I don't understand.
Well, we wanted to add some additional attitude to our guys that we couldn't get on the roster. So guys like Gangrel's got a huge following. Fans were really stoked to hear about that. Val Venus, Rikishi, Too Cool. Guys like that. We have DDP and Goldust as exclusives if you purchase fan access. So we're really excited about that. And then, of course, we wanted to update the game, like I mentioned, with superstars that didn't make the roster. And Divas, too. We have Natalia in there. We have AJ. We have Layla. And so it's really cool. We got Brian Pillman in there, Attitude Era guy.
Really?
That's really cool.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about Brian Pillman.
We have Chainsaw Charlie, a.k.a. Terry Funk, which
Sure.
is really cool. So it's by far our best DLC offering. So fans should be really happy.
And what I like about it is just how varied it is. You know, it's a really
is.
good mix of superstars, both current and Attitude Era. I mean, we're getting championships. You know, we got some attires. We got a Undertaker Ministry attire, Ministry of Darkness attire. The moves pack. It's just such a good mix of content.
Now, how's it? I mean, there's probably people going, I need Ryback, I need whomever. How is this rolling out? I mean, you guys are just, is it all all at once?
It's in 3 packs. The first pack is available right at launch. So as soon as you purchase the game, you go ahead and download that first pack. We definitely recommend you buy Fan Access because you do get a discount on the DLC.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And you get us some other exclusive bonuses. We talked about the 2 superstars, which are huge bonuses. You get some online badges and some things like that. And then also you get to freely upload and download content that has DLC in there if you're a Fan Access holder. So that's a big bonus. But then we'll have the 2 other packs roll out shortly after that. I think they're within 20 or 30 days of each other. So another pack right before Christmas, and then a pack shortly into the new year.
Awesome. Anything else you guys want to bring up about WWE 13 before we check out here?
There's so much to talk about. I mean, we kind of did the quick blast of all the features, but
all the content.
What's the single, like, you guys have to do so many fine details in there. Add this move or this hat or something like that. Like, what is the single coolest, smallest thing you've added to this that some fans are just gonna be like, oh, I can't believe they added that. That is the coolest thing ever.
Oh man.
Something small.
Something small.
Small. It gotta be small. Some
Are we each gonna give our own?
Yeah.
All right, Corey, you go
Something
first.
subtle. Something subtle.
Well, I worked heavily on the Attitude Era mode, and so I kind of already revealed we were excited about having orange ladders and changing the colors of some of these weapons. They're just small things, but they make a difference. Also, we have these banners around the arena that are really old. You'll see the old school THQ logo back from 1999 or whatever. And we just spent a lot of time on the detail with that mode. We got a lot of the voice acting directly from the show, which is really cool. So I'm just really excited. I geek out about those little details in the Attitude Era mode because you just want those to feel like they were back then, the authenticity.
I'm just amazed, especially with Attitude Era. Like, I mean, I played through Halftime Heat, like that.
Oh yeah.
Never probably to ever be attempted again, but by WWE now. But like, I got to play through Halftime Heat.
That's a cool detail. You got an empty arena there. You can go backstage from the arena, which wasn't in last year. Also, we had Big Boss Man's nightstick as a weapon in there. So that was a small detail. We got in there really last minute, which is cool. So there are a lot of little things like that.
All right, Brian, details.
I think for me, for gameplay, I mean, it's been in the game, but we made some improvements to the leverage pins. I love the leverage pins. I just love being able to reverse pins into another pinfall attempt. But being able to trigger these offensively this year is for me a really cool addition. That's why I'm using those quite a bit.
And pins are such a heightened emotion and moment in a match. When you get it reversed and it's on you, then you just kind of freak out, which is really cool. You want that kind of momentum sway, that kind of panic attack you have when someone does pull off the leverage pin on you, and you got to react to it.
You've got to react fast to it. And then you mentioned it at the start of this, but the match experience. The epic, the normal, the quick.
I love that option.
I really like that because everybody likes to play these games differently.
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes you just want to go in and just have a really quick, match. Kind of get to your finisher, your signatures really quick. I think this, allows players to do that. And then, there are other times where you just want to really have a really long, kind of epic encounter.
Yeah.
So we're giving players, they can. The best of both worlds.
We had a community event. This is where we got the inspiration for. Some of our community guys like Rudy and Matt were there, and we saw them playing these matches, and they were trying to put on these really epic WrestleMania-esque matches, but they would have to set up the spots themselves or kick out of their own pins, and that wasn't what the game should be doing. It should be trying to help you recreate those awesome moments. So we'd like to thank the community guys for helping us out with that and providing the inspiration. Now fans can have those experiences in the game, so you can create your own WrestleMania, 28, 29. Epic match. It's cool.
Last question before we sign out. How in the heck do you top this year?
Yeah, that's such a
But I think that's the fun part, though. That's the fun part about working on this franchise.
We love the challenge. We really do love the challenge. We don't shy away from it. We recognize that we really kind of hit it out of the park this year, especially with the Attitude Era. Really cool single-player campaign, roster. Gameplay's feeling really smooth, but we kind of relish the opportunity to one up ourselves,
Yeah.
see if we can do it. And,
I mean, therein lies the challenge, you know. But we're
hopefully
all
get a
up
better
for it.
score than 8.4 next year when we do it. You know?
Damn. You told me you were
missed
gonna-
an 8.4.
I knew that. I knew that was
We're
coming.
very happy with 8.4.
I knew that was
Yeah,
coming.
like I told you earlier, I'll take an 8.4 over 4.8.
All right. Well, as we play out here, we'll watch CM Punk and Daniel Bryan beat the living hell out of each other. And thanks for watching, you guys. For those of you that won the goodies, congratulations, and see you guys next year.
All right, thank you.
Wait, who are you playing as anyway? Are you playing as Daniel Bryan?
Of course.
Of course.